What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Hunter x Hunter chapter 407. Keep cranking them out. I think I've been told, or maybe I saw, or we're cleared to 410. Like we should be getting straight to 410 without any interruptions or breaks or anything. I think if you guys have information on that, let me know. Because a lot of craziness is going on. It does feel very, I saw a couple of people mention this. It feels very palace invasion arc where this time the catalyst, instead of the palace invasion, it's Halkenberg's funeral. And like once that starts, there's going to be so many different POVs and things happening, all getting kick-started by the funeral happening. So I'm interested to see what happens. Apologize for the voice. Sick. Just came back from a wedding. Probably should have grabbed something to drink, but we're going to try to get through this, crank it out and see how it goes. We've got the Crollo and the abilities and things he's looking to steal. I'm on the side of, and again, I like the idea of it. If he was to steal Saradnik's ability, that would be pretty great to me, in my opinion, especially with the way Saradnik's character is being built up and how he's a Nen genius, and look how smart he is, and he's gonna get it down. He can just go, he'll be able to get it down to 1 second or instantly. And imagine like his first or second Nen encounter battle, he just gets his ability taken. I think that would be like peak writing. Aside from that, I can't think of anybody else's ability that we've already been exposed to that I would want Krolos to take. I know he's doing the kind of like cell phone search thing, which I'm assuming is not for a partner, but for an actual ability that he may be looking for. So aside from any ability that that or Camilla. Wait, I always get Camilla and the mafia boss names mixed up and confused. Whoever is the prince that dies but post-mortem comes back, if he gets his hands on either of those two abilities, those are probably the only two known abilities that I'd want him to take. Aside from that, I'll be interested to see who he's trying to find a perfect match with. But let's see what we got. Let's drag this over here. Boom, boom, boom. Come over here. Press play on this. All right, we should be good to go. All right, chapter 407. Let's see what we get. Negotiation. And then we've got the whole troop starting down there and Nobunaga backtracking, and now it's just fate. It's shit's going down, but the funeral looks like it's starting. And then you've got the whole mafia family that's probably going to go on a killing spree here to get their numbers up, because where else are you going to find a meat factory to get your numbers up like this just standing here? And then does Benjamin get taken out here, or any other princes? We'll see. We'll see. All right, just making sure I didn't have any text on this page. How many pages we got? Usually we get like 21, 22, but actually ends up being like 18, 17. All right. Wow. Speaking of palace invasion, does this not look exactly like it? With this shot right here? I feel like I'm looking at Yuppie like sitting on the stairwell waiting for everything to happen. Damn. All right, day 12. Borkson's missing? Yeah, last contact was right before the procession passed her. So about 30 minutes ago. Here we go. The thing what's so different is like, I mean, there's a lot different between, the Miriam Ant palace invasion. There's so many people here. And I guess, they did have the humans that they kind of like cattled up to be offered. So I guess you could say there's a massive amount of people here, just like there was for that got put to sleep by the scales and everything. But there's so many more people here that we have connected with from a reader standpoint, on top of all the just no names. Ooh, man. Maybe she had a sudden post change, or she went after a suspect. We're supposed to report in if anything happens. She would have told us. Yeah, we have to assume the worst. That Borkson has been abducted. But by whom and what for? She's a soldier herself and was on alert. There was no struggle or commotion. Is that even possible? Just making sure that we're actually recording here. Do we know who Borkson is? Is that a random name? Is that a first time name for us? Maybe it's been mentioned, but is Borkson a like first time really no name? This isn't somebody we'd really know in detail. If it were a coordinated team, it'd be easy with a large number of people. Using something like drugs to immobilize her and big guys to surround her wouldn't be noticed in this crowd. If it was someone she knew, it could have been a one-person job, or someone pretended to be sick and asked to be taken to the hospital where they were waiting for her. If they use those Nen abilities, they might be able to manipulate her, like with an, oh, these guys are oblivious. The Haley might be using her to assassinate Sarah. Oh. So there are plenty of ways, and that's exactly the worst case scenario. Borkson went over what to do if one of us got caught. No negotiations, no rescue. Are we really going to stick with that plan? Hey, why are you standing there? Spread out and do your jobs. We're still on high alert. Think about it and decide before we're done here. Okay, now this group is actually looking familiar to me. So maybe we have ran into them or her. All right, so you have, see, what's the chick's name? Camilla's the prince. What is her name? Or is that Camilla? And who's the prince? I don't know. Surely we're about to get a name drop here, so let's see. Let's see. Welcome. This is the Haley hideout. We want you to join us. We're not going to force you. We have our reasons, but let's just say you're like a compatible donor. We'll do our best to get you to join us. I'm not physically restrained. There are 6 of them. They took my weapons. That depends. Morena. Okay. This is Morena. Camilla is the prince. Prince. You must be Morena. Prudo. What do you want from me? I don't remember any of it. It couldn't have been a normal abduction. They used some kind of power I don't know. Oh, so she's like really fucked. I can't answer right away. Not making any rash decisions is wise, but please understand that the more we tell you, the harder it is for us to back out. Is that a threat? Is it? Take it however you'd like. I can't tell you why, but the risk increases for both sides the longer this takes. Whose fault is that? That's fair. Don't expect a balanced perspective from a crime syndicate. Is that the first time we've gotten Morena speaking to somebody outside of people that were just like yes men and already part of her little crew? I feel like we really haven't got much of her personality outside of talking to people that are already like down for her cause. We can do this quickly while also giving you a chance to get what you want. This is my first and only compromise. Let's decide with a negotiation game. If you withdraw from this game, you will lose the freedom to do anything other than say yes or no. Let's just start with the rules. So, are we getting her ability here? Let's see it broken down. Let's see how busted and complicated this is about to be. The dealer makes a request of the player, and the player makes a decision through this process. I have 7 cards face up on the board. You have 5 cards face down. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! What's going on here? You pick one of my cards, and I give you an answer. The chosen card is discarded to the graveyard. Oh, we are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Next, I pick one of your cards and reveal it. That card is also discarded. We repeat, and the last of your cards remaining is your answer to our quest. Let me guess. I have 4 yeses and 1 no. Turn them over from the left. Yes. What's this? Return. You can return one card of your choice from your graveyard to your board. Okay, but what are the other 2 cards going to be? If return is your last card, you can use it to retrieve the card of your choice to be your response. And the Joker card. The Joker can turn into yes or no. If this is your last card, you can also make your choice. Okay. Inform only. What do you mean? You just said you take away my freedom to do anything besides say yes or no if I refuse to play. That means you won't let me leave until I say yes, right? What's the point of playing this game at all? Turn over the next one. I wanted to see her response to that. What's the last one? Insta-death. X is neither yes nor no. It means you don't have to make a decision. If this is my last card, I can void the game itself. That's right. If the X card remains, you can walk out of here without saying yes or no. We won't seek to renegotiate later, of course, I promise you. But do you promise to just let me walk around after I've mingled and seen what's gone on, that one of you won't just pluck me out as soon as I walk out of here? Or yeah, you won't renegotiate to play, but doesn't mean you won't take me out. But if any other card forces you to decide yes or no, you will take full responsibility for the consequences of your answer. Do you understand? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say no there, Papa. But for story purposes, I mean, is she dumb enough to be sure? You haven't gone over half the rules yet, have you? How could I answer? Even just with these rules, it's clear the system stacks the odds against me. At first glance, the yes card where I would do as she asks is only 1 out of the 5. That makes it seem like I have more yeah, correct. It makes it seem like I have more chances to refuse or leave the game, creating the illusion that the player is at an advantage. This is the first trap. The yes card, if this is the last one remain, I'll have to join her. That means I'll have to obey all the rules they add later. It means complete defeat. But no is actually not different from yes. It pretends to be my friend, but no will bear its fangs as soon as the game begins. It depends on the explanations of the yes and no cards. And is she also have... What are her... What's that reverse D in the QB? Safe to say, I don't think we're going to get any crazy plot development here other than Morena's ability. So let's go ahead and strap in here. Now that I see the amount of pages and stuff that we don't have remaining. Oh man, that's so unfortunate. I mean, I guess we're getting her ability finally, but it's how we were talking about oh, palace invasion, shit starting, it's going down. And now you're just yeah, you get it. She'll explain all sorts of horrible things that would happen around me if I say no. This will keep going until I decide that saying yes is better. So no and Joker are pointless. My real cards are Return and X. 2 out of the 5, 40% isn't such bad odds considering the situation. Well, that's the second trap. No matter how many cards are good for me, none of it actually matters. As long as the game entails her picking my cards, they can cheat. They can cheat all they want. Okay, then I'll explain my cards. In the third trap is the worst. Making sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay. The aim card. If you pick this card, I'll explain my goals. What we're trying to do by inviting you here and recruiting you. I'll try to be as concise as I can, but if you have any questions pertaining to my goals, I'll provide additional information. Next, the power card. If you pick this card, I'll explain my ability. I feel like we're kind of getting it here, but okay. I mean, there's no way that this game is not tied to her ability, correct? There's no shot. There's just no shot the author's going to explain us a card game and it does not rope itself into what she can do. One would think. Although it might go over your head. Oh, she doesn't even know Nen. But she does know that there's things, powers, abilities. So, Well, let's just get there. I'll tell you only the truth without hiding anything. I'll go into as much detail as you want until you understand. But again, the longer this takes, the more risk to both of us. I might have to talk pretty quickly. Question A. I'll answer as many questions as you have, as many times as you want, except anything about my goals or my ability. Okay. If you want to know about those things, use these cards. And my answers to your questions will only be in the form of yes or no. Okay. You're really giving us a lot here. But the girl is... Who the... hold on. What's the chick's name? Borkson? She's... I mean, there's definitely gears clicking in here. She's definitely like... She seems at least have a little bit of brain power. If you want more detail regarding an answer I gave to one of your questions, you'll have to pick the question B card on a later turn. I'll explain in greater detail. I'll explain in greater depth until it's cleared up, but only about one question. But you keep stating that like the longer this takes, the bad it is for the both of us. So like clearly she wants like the yes no answer, so it goes quicker. Morena does. But there's no way the average person would sit there and just be content with the yes or no answer. So clearly it's going to take a longer time, which she keeps stating is not good for either of us. So, but only about one question, and it must be the last question you asked during the question around. So be careful when you bring the question around to a close. All right, I don't need to hear yes or no answers. There's something I need to confirm about the way you answer. May I try it out now? Go ahead. I'll be able to tell through her tone and nonverbal cues. You will not cheat within the game at any point. Yes or no? There's no shot the very next page is about to be the last page after she asked that questions. And why do you do the typical anime like dramatic flash and then pan to everybody in the room when she asked that question? Classic. Negative questions can create the potential for misunderstandings. Negative questions. Okay. It's quite important to clear up any confusion beforehand. When answering a negative question such as you haven't done it, there are cultures that reply yes I have not. Usually the person's answers for themselves and yes and no are absolute terms, thus no I have not. But for some reason these people focus on the question's perspective and answer yes means you are correct or I agree with you. Maybe it's an odd hierarchy mindset or the philosophy of selfless hospitality. In some dialects, okay, bitch, you're dragging it. You're dragging it. You're dragging it. In some dialects, the reflexive pronoun self gets used in second person contexts as if they're stepping into the other's shoes. Crazy, huh? Sorry, I didn't even realize I do that. It looks like this game works as an initiation when soliciting new members in an interview. Morena uses this exchange to observe the subject, to examine their personality, intelligence, and to judge whether they're compatible for her team. Your answer? No, I will not cheat. I'm answering from my perspective. Does that work for you? She says, yes. I feel so much anger from her. What in the world is she so angry about? Girl, get the fuck out. She can't get out of there if she wanted to. What is she gonna do? Now, as for the yes and no cards. Hold on, I'm gonna read her thoughts first, then the bubbles. She won't cheat. It's obvious she has absolute control simply by looking at her and her cronies. Yes. She's confident but still respectful towards me. From her attitude and intonation, I can tell cheating isn't allowed at the organizational level. With these, I'll explain in detail what happens when you are left with yes or no as your last card. Pick these cards if you want to know that in advance. Last is the D, the deal card. Pick this card if there's a card you really need to take back from your graveyard. You'll get it by granting a small request of mine. Once you hear what it is, you don't have to do it if you think you can't. But in that case, it becomes my turn, and deal will go to the graveyard. The game ends when you are left with one card. So your last chance to use this card is when you're down to 2 cards. Thereby I explained all the rules. Oh, perfect. See you next week. Well, now will you decide whether you'll play the game? What is I forgot her name already. Bjorkson or whatever. What is she getting out of this? I guess not being killed if she says, because like, what are they gonna do? Oh, sure, you can leave and like actually let me leave. Okay, maybe Morena can't harm us herself. Like maybe that's the condition of her ability in her game. She has to explain and give everybody a fair chance. Yada yada XYZ. She can't even lose. Like yes, she can't cheat. Like it's all written in there. She can't do that. No, I will not cheat. No XYZ. That doesn't keep anybody that she's connected with taking your ass out. So it's like. And I didn't know we were getting a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon turn-based game explanation on top of everything else that we're getting. And she says, I'll explain I'm assuming this is her ability. I'm assuming this is how she filters out people to pick for her little contagion, level up game. Now are the cards conjured? I would assume. Or maybe she could just make that. I don't know. But we're not going to get much more explanation. I'm sure that there's going to be videos out there that maybe have a full breakdown of what her ability is. But no way, right? I mean, shit, there's some serious Hunter x Hunter people out there. You think we have a full explanation and breakdown of her ability, front to back, every detail, just off of this chapter alone? Maybe. Now you decide whether you play the game. I will under one condition. What's that? I'll decide which card you'll pick of my face down cards, if that's okay with you. Sure, that's happened before, and I'll take care of the shuffling, right? Now let's begin. And bro, you're gonna let the dealer, like she doesn't know this deck, like I don't know. The girl's right, like as far as like this is not set up for you to win. It is not fair. You are fucked. Borkson, I'm sorry it had to be you, but what can we do? I would love to see this animated as well. Because we know how Borkson says so much anger from her. What in the world is she so angry about? I would love to see that animated to see if they show that in Morena. Maybe a different tone or look in her eye, or they give it dramatic music or show her slightly annoyed but don't show it. Like maybe they show it slightly internally but don't show it. Because we don't really see a change in her. She's very, quote unquote upfront, detailed, smile on her face. This is how the game's played. No, I won't cheat. That's just a question. Yes or no. Like I'll give you my, like there's no panel change in her expressions. That I'd like to see this animated to see if we pick up on the anger that she's also picking up on at the same time. Now again, people have been theory crafting and doing crazy shit for a long time. So maybe people are going to have a good explanation or breakdown. Because I'd be curious to see like if someone's like, oh, this is her ability. And like, it's just out there and that's kind of like what we're going at with the details of it. Because I feel like we personally don't have enough. Now, I'm assuming it's all tied to getting, like we said, people to be in that circle, in that game. Commit to her, whatever you want it to be. And then I guess the question is, if it is actually possible for a person to win this, or to win in a sense of like, okay, I didn't have to join, what then happens with that person? Are they just free to go and they just forget it ever happened? Maybe part of like an inability or something? I was like, okay, well, you did win. You're free to go. And as soon as you step out the door, they just flip and slip your throat. So there's a lot of, I mean, that was very, very, what's wild is like the first 3 pages, like we had no text. I'm like, dang, we burned 3 pages, no text. And then it was just straight text. Oh, here are these cards. Yes, no. This card does this. This card does that. So, like, I would say I would be curious what you guys think. Since we've returned, I don't remember. What is this, 407? What do we start? 4 flat? 401? 403? I don't know what we started at. In your opinions, is this your least favorite chapter of the bunch so far? I think in my opinion it is. Now, granted, next chapter could be good when we fully get, like, when we fully see it, her ability, what it might do, if Bjorkson can win, can't win, if it's even allowed. I feel like maybe once you've already committed, you've already lost. I mean, she kind of feels that way as well. But I'd say that this is probably my least favorite chapter of the bunch that we've gotten since the return so far. It's just very setup, very setup. And it sucks knowing that we're only getting like week to week basis to like essentially burn a chapter with that. Now, granted, her ability could come out and be some crazy wild shit, and it's like we go back and look at this chapter and how she broke down this card means this card means that. But again, it just feels like a setup chapter. And especially coming off of last chapter and coming off of the last 3 chapters ago, Halkenberg's like, I'm going in, I got 10 hours. And then we jump to another point in time where the Phantom Troops are like, oh, fuck, we're going in. Then we jump to another point of view of like, okay, this is what Krollo's doing while everybody else is going in. It's like, oh, shit, it's happening. They're all going in. The ceremony's happening. And then it's like, let me pull you over here for a second while we're all waiting for what's the troop going to do? What's Morena's group going to do? What's Halkenberg going to get away with? Krollo, where's he soaking? Like, it's like we said, palace invasion. It's like, come on. And then they take a hard left. So hopefully we'll either get a good reveal breakdown of her ability in the next chapter, or feel free to sidestep that completely and start with the invasion arc, however you want to describe it. But still not bad. Hey, content's better than no content, especially when you talk about Hunter x Hunter. So we'll take it and see how it goes. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and as always,